What's going on, everyone? Alex De Silva.
And Lucy Kai from Happy as Larry Group.
What's happening, people? Oh, it was lovely to see you guys on this lovely Tuesday. And today's video is all about you.
Me?
Yeah.
All about me?
You.
Oh, you?
Yeah, you. You watching.
You.
It's all about you today. The reason for this video is we wanted to do something different, and we want to get to know you, but also for you to get to know yourself, most importantly. Everything that we do is based around helping people. So this is a video that we hope you're going to take something really great out of this. So get a pen and a pad, and we're going to start asking you some questions. And as we do, start answering these questions as honestly as you can. And at the end of this, we are hoping that it's going to trigger something inside you, whether it's going to be a goal, whether it's going to be an ambition, whether it's going to be maybe some fears, maybe some feelings.
Yeah, well, I don't think we do anything like this very often, do we? We don't sit down and write out anything about ourselves, or we don't ask ourselves those questions on a daily basis. And I think having the opportunity to do it in one fell swoop is really good, isn't it? And it'll bring up things, like you said, it'll bring up things that you don't always necessarily think about, and maybe identify some blocks that you don't always think about as well. And it could kind of make you see where you're getting stuck in your life and where you can make some improvements and where you can give yourself a bit of a kick up the backside.
Yeah. Or give yourself a break.
Or yeah, both really.
Yeah,
both,
pat yourself
both
in the
sides.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
absolutely. So, so let's get started, people.
Okay, so, pen and paper at the ready. What is your name? First question. What is your age? And what is your gender?
Ooh,
Hard questions, aren't they?
I know. This is going to be tough, guys. This is going to be really tough.
We're easing you in gently here.
And the other questions are, where are you from? Where were you born? And where do you live now? For me, I was born in Brazil, and now I live in the UK. I live in London. Are you at work, or are you still at school? So there is no age restriction for this, so anyone can do this.
Okay, what are your favourite things? Possessions, places, or people? I think that's quite a hard one, actually, isn't it? When you think about possessions and places and people. I think places and people are probably easier for me to answer, but possessions, you know me quite well, I'm not necessarily really materialistic.
No.
But I think everyone has like weird things that they really like sentimentally. I think
Yeah,
for me,
exactly.
it's this weird kind of statue thing that I have by the side of my bed. It means a lot to me, and I think maybe think a bit about that when you're answering that question.
Yeah.
What do you like doing? That's a good one. I think is identifying what hobbies you have, what hobbies you don't have. Do you actually have any hobbies? What do you like doing? Is it just watching TV? Because that's pretty bloody boring if you ask me. I mean, there's some good stuff on TV, but there are a lot of many other things that you could be doing in the world.
Very true.
And what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you
That's
want to
just
be when
not
you
for the
grow
kids.
up?
I wanted to be after watching Top Gun, I wanted to be a fighter pilot. But you know what I've always wanted to be. I always wanted to be Superman.
Didn't happen.
Yeah. I've got the guns there.
Yeah, well,
Almost there. One day.
Yeah, what do you want to be when you grow up? I still don't see myself as grown up. I still see myself as early 20s. I don't know, maybe late teens. I still see myself as growing up. So I think it's a relevant question for anybody of any age, actually. I think, people who are in their 20s, no, joking, people in their 20s, people in their 30s, people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, any age, I think, because I guess the point of that is that within us, we don't really ever grow up, do we?
That is the reason why I asked the question. What do you want to be when you grow up? And listen, the reason I answer these is because a lot of that, we're probably answering these ourselves, aren't we? And it's a really interesting question.
Yeah.
I got asked this question a few years ago, and I burst out laughing because I actually didn't know.
Yeah.
You
It's
know?
weird, isn't it? 'Cause
Yeah.
it can change though, can't it? I think
of course it can.
over the years.
And this is the
Changed
thing.
for
And,
me.
yeah, and as you mature, and I guess this is the next question, which, again, you know, whether you're 15, 18, 25, 30, 40, whatever, you know, it makes no difference. The next question, I wanted to kind of make it a little bit more mature, which was, you know, what's your 5-year plan? And not so much a 5-year plan. It could be 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. It's just, do you have any plans in place? You know, whether it's an ambition, doesn't necessarily have to be a plan, or whether it's a goal, something you want to reach. Which I guess brings me to the next question. You know, have you set any goals, or have you made any plans? Are you on your way to achieving them? That is the next question. Or are you stuck?
Well, that's quite a hard one actually, isn't it? Because if you don't know that you are, and you realise that you are from doing this, then that's difficult to realise. I think if you're kind of coasting through your life, and then you ask yourself that question, and then you realise, actually, I do feel stuck, like I am in a bit of a rut. So I think it's a really good way of actually reassessing your life and where you are with it at the moment, and being honest with yourself as to where you are with it.
Yeah.
So the next one is, what's stopping you from reaching your goals? A number of reasons. Is it finances, circumstances, people, places, or is it yourself? I think that's the most. Normally, I think we can use lots of excuses for lots of things.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it could be that, you know, for example, you want to do a course, but you can't afford it. You don't have the finances for it. But really, you know, if we really, really, really want to do something, you can always find a way around it a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I remember when I came out of treatment centre, and the first thing I wanted to do was be a counsellor. I was only about a week sober, and I wanted to already be a therapist. But I knew it was a dream, actually, that I really, really wanted to work towards. And I do remember coming out of rehab, and I remember saying to my first sponsor, who is now actually a qualified therapist, and that she was in her first year of study. And I said to her, I remember the conversation so clearly. I said, it would be my dream to be a therapist. But I believed in my core that there was no way, I remember saying it, there's no way I'm going to be able to do it, because I will never be able to afford to pay for it myself. I would never have the finances. And I really, really believed I was never going to be able to do it.
And what are you doing now?
I've just finished my first year at university training to be a therapist.
Doing a master's degree. And what do you do once a week?
Go mental with the amount of hours I have to. I'm in my placement now in the field, and I'm learning, and I'm growing, and I'm doing it. And so, you know, nothing is insurmountable in this life, and and the circumstances. Again, there's always a way around something. Are there people in your way? Then remove them out of your way. Then. It's as simple as that.
Simple as
nobody should stop you from doing what you want to do. Nobody should have that power over you, really. I think that's a nice way of putting it. And places, you know, you live in somewhere that isn't really... you know, are you not in the best place in terms of where you're living, the situation you're living in, or whatever it is? Again, make the changes to change that as well. Even if it means changing that first, to, you know, to use as a stepping stone to get to that, what it is, you know, your goal that you want to reach. Start to move the small things out of the way to get towards that, the goal. It's breaking it down, isn't it, into smaller, bite-sized chunks.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So the next one is, are you motivated? And be really honest about it. Are you motivated to work towards that goal? Do you motivate yourself to do it, or do you just kind of put it to the back burner and just think, oh yeah, I'll do it. I will do it one day. I think a big reason why people fail is because they don't have the motivation. Like I didn't have to start with, because I thought finances were going to stop me from doing it, or my job that I was working at, or all those things that I did kind of believe. I did actually believe that were going to prevent me from doing it, but it wasn't even real, and that was fear. That was fear. That was me placing those things actually in the way of it.
Yeah. Procrastination.
Yeah, because it's the fear of the unknown, you know. But look where I am today, like we just said. You know?
Yeah. It's pushing forward, isn't it?
Yeah. And so, leading on from that question, are you motivated? What motivates you? So, if it's difficult for you to answer whether you are motivated or not, if you do say no, then the next question to ask yourself is then what does motivate you? So start putting those plans in place. What motivates you? Start again, like I said, with the small stepping stones and bite-sized chunks.
Yeah, absolutely. Little step will always lead you to where you want to be.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Said by a very wise man.
I'm not very wise. I just like to read. But listen, hopefully as you're starting to do this, and as you're being very honest with yourself, a lot of things are coming up. Maybe fears and a little bit of anxiety, and you're starting to realize, oh, do you know what? Actually, I'm nowhere near where I want to be. Or you're flying through this and you're going, actually, do you know what? I'm doing really well. Pat yourself in the back. If you are not there, and which is what my next question is, are you stuck? Because as Lucy mentioned, you know, there are so many little obstacles sometimes that, you know, can get in the way. And the first thing that we do is we just freeze. And we think, do you know what? I'm just going to put this aside and I'll get back to it at some point. Because when you're in a mentality where you either don't have that motivation yourself, or you don't yet understand what motivates you, because you haven't answered questions like this before, you haven't put yourself in these situations yet, what happens is, which again is my next question, is have you given up? Have you given up before you even started? You know, or did you fail? Which is, and again, this is the next question, is did you fail? And did you then just turn around and say, well, I failed at this anyway, so I'm just gonna give up? Answer yourself, you know, ask yourself that question really, really honestly, because it's crucial to understand these things. And it's not to beat yourself up about it. It's for you to understand, actually, have I done enough? You know, have I taken the right steps? You know, am I looking at this the right way? You know, as Lucy said about having little bite-sized chunks where, you know, you can set the goal, whether it's a year, whether it's 5 years, but have you literally worked your way back to today, and you've said to yourself, okay, I have to do this every single day in order to reach that long-term goal. You know, so if you're stuck, have a look at these little things. If you've given up, question yourself, was it even the right thing for you to do? That's a real important question. You know, what you are currently looking to achieve, so by the things that you're writing, you know, are they the right things? Is it really in your heart? Is it something that you want to do, or is it something that somebody else is getting you to do? That's a huge question, because we're very easy to give up on things that we're not motivated by. So, and again, failure. I used to hate that word because I used to hate failing. I used to want to achieve perfection. Now, I love failure and I hate perfection, because there is no such thing as perfection. For me nowadays, and one of the things that we believe in, is continuous growth. And it's just, you know, you learn every single day, you know, and that for me is my version of perfection. I never want to be perfect. I want to keep growing every single day.
Yeah, well, there is no such thing as perfect.
No.
There's no such thing as perfect.
Not at all.
Yeah, so next question is, who are you?
Yeah.
So many answers can come from that one. I think certainly for me, I've realised over the last few years that I am a lot. I'm a lot of things. I have a lot of qualities. I have a lot of talents I didn't even know I had. But it's such a diverse question, because it, you know, for me it's, you know, also like who am I actually as a person? You know, what is my personality like? Do I actually know who I am as well? One of the things that when I started my journey into recovery is that I realised I didn't even know who I was, because I'd been so focused on thinking about everything else outside of me and everyone else outside of me as well, as in like so and so wanted me to be a certain way, or so and so was telling me to behave a certain way, or the media was showing me that I should be a certain size, or TV programs are saying that I should earn an amount of money, or I should be in this kind of career, or I should be married, or I should be having kids at this age, and I should be doing this at this age. And actually I think that it's so rife in today's society that we don't even know who we are, because we just take on what everybody else tells us what we should be. And so that question is really, really important. Who are you?
Dig deep for that one.
Yeah, just write loads.
Yeah.
Like, write loads and loads.
Yeah.
Of who are
Really,
you? All the things about you.
Yeah, really dig deep. That is such an important question. I asked myself that question and I cried. I cried and I cried and I cried, because I didn't know who I was. And I've known this for years. You know, even in my addiction, the worst thing for me was not knowing who I was. I didn't know my identity, not really. You know, I thought I did, because I was following how everybody else wanted me to be. How we were talking about this earlier, about, you know, how people wanted me to behave, how I should dress, or, you know, the money I should be earning and what I should be doing, and so on and so forth. And do you know what? And I understand today why my depression was so bad, my anxiety was so bad. I was constantly stressed. I was always doing things for everybody else. I was trying to follow what the media was saying. I was trying to be what everybody else wanted me to be, yet completely forgetting who I was. But if you asked me that question before, I would have said, of course I know who I am. Who do you think you are? But deep inside, I was a scared little boy with a massive ego and this real low self-esteem. So it's a really important question. You know, definitely, and be honest with yourself, because it's a really caring thing. And this is what these questions are all about. You know, it's not to kind of bring up fear or bad things. It's to bring stuff up that needs to be looked at, but from a real loving and caring place, isn't it?
Absolutely. And so next one is, can you honestly answer and say you know who you are? So yeah, it's leading on from the one before, really, isn't it? And what we just said really just kind of covered it all, I think. And even if you say, actually, do you know what, I don't know who I am, and that's really good, because now you can start learning who you are.
Yeah.
So
there's your goal.
You know, don't pretend that you know who you are. Don't pretend because what we were saying, someone's told you to be this way, or this is how you've always been, or this is just who you should be. Should in the world is a really dangerous word sometimes. The shoulds in life, they're all some people know, and actually, you know, learning to challenge that is the start of things changing. And actually, if your answer to that, the second one is, you know, the question, can you honestly answer and say you know who you are? If it is actually no, then that's the beginning, like I said, of things changing, and you learning who you are, who you really are. Yeah. So, do you want to go on to the next one?
Yeah, definitely. The thing is, we give up on most things before we even start, and one of the saddest thing is, because we give up, we never find our greatness, and most people never find their greatness. You know, they live their whole lives and they get to that point where it's the point of regret, where they understand that, you know what, I can't do anything about this now, you know, and that is the saddest point of someone's life, you know. And I have spoken to people before that have got to that point in their lives and said, you know what, I wish I would have done this differently. I wish I could have done this better. Whether it was a relationship with, with a partner, whether it was a relationship with their kids, or whether it was a job, whether it was traveling, whether it was just fun and just never got to jump off a plane, something silly. Or just a real talent, but that raw talent that's in here that somebody has told you you're not good enough, don't do it. Don't listen to somebody else's voice, listen to yours. And
anyway, even if you are rubbish, then you'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's not to be harsh.
No.
It's always follow your dreams. Don't listen to what someone else tells you.
This is it. And listen, self-awareness. Go and find out. Go and ask the questions. Go and see it for yourself. And this is the thing. But most importantly, don't give up. Because that's what we do. And as soon as you do that, you stopped living. And what you do is you live for somebody else. And in whose life, and this is it, and as I've mentioned before, the greatest gift God has ever given us is time. And it's the one thing that once it goes, we never get back. So, find your greatness, find out exactly what that is, fail if you must, keep failing. Failing is what leads you to success. Fail time and time again. We fall and we pick ourselves back up. It's human nature, isn't it? It's in us.
We have to break to mend back again. Like if you know what I mean? Like you have to fail. You have to go through pain to grow. And that's what that is, isn't it? We have to have failures.
Yeah.
It's just life. Like, the same as you. I used to be terrified of failing. And I really thought that when I failed at something, it was horrific and it was the worst thing that could ever happen. And that's not the reason I went in to do what I did, because I was convinced that I went to do what I did because I wanted to succeed and I wanted to be the best. Of course, that's why we do stuff. That's why we want to grow. That's why we go into a career. That's why we study, whatever it is. But I think we need to also realise then that failures are just as important to us as our successes. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because we learn the most valuable lessons from the failures that we have, and then we can go on to succeed even more better from a woman who's doing a master's degree. even more. Oh, I've lost what I was saying now. But anyway, the point I'm making is, if we didn't fail the first time, when we then go and chase it again, we will do even better than we had planned on doing the first time anyway, because we learnt from our failures and we learnt from the mistakes that we made the first time that we don't make again.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, it's just being able to accept that by making mistakes, you're growing. By taking those little steps and overcoming fear. We had to do some stuff today, and I had to really look at some stuff myself that, what's really painful. But you know what? I know that by going through that pain, going through the uncomfortable stuff, I get to the other end. And when I get to the other end, I feel 10 times better. And I keep doing this to myself every single day. And some days it's really, really good, and I really get a buzz out of, sounds really weird, by being in pain. But you know what, some days I don't, and today, before we started doing this video, I wasn't very comfortable at all, but you know what, it really helped me, because that's what this is all about. It's about you. That's what this video is all about. It's about you looking at you. Forget what everybody else is saying to you now, and realize, where do you want to be? It's as simple as that. And I think, I'll end it on this. Just don't ever give up. Whatever happens to you, whether you fail, whether you're an addict, whether you bomb at your exams, academically, whether you're not great. I know a lot of people who are not academically at all, but they're multimillionaires. They are very smart business people. What you can't do with this, a lot of people can do with this, and there is always ways, which is what we want you to do, is find your greatness, so go and fucking find it.
And we all have it, don't we, in different ways, in weird and wonderful ways.
I'm pumped.
Yeah. We can all can all do something and be really, really good at it.
Yeah.
Everybody on this earth can do something and be really good at it.
Yeah. We're here for a reason.
We are. Everybody is. We're
reason.
all here to make up the rich tapestry that is life.
Yeah.
And we all have something to contribute, as big or as small or whatever, whatever it is. There's a reason we are all here and we are all born. Yeah. I think one thing that we will do is put the questions on the bottom of the video.
Yes.
So, because I know we've spoken through them, but to give you guys a chance to watch the video, take in the content, and then have the information below to just check over what the questions are and to write them down and have a bit more time to spend on them.
Yeah.
Because I think they're all really, really important questions. And just be honest with what comes up and share with us what comes up emotionally. How do you feel? Have you identified something that you haven't realised?
Yeah.
And just comment below.
Yeah, always. Leave your comments below. Like the videos. Yeah. Subscribe as always. You can follow us on our social media, which is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. Listen. Email.
Well, we've got our website.
Yeah.
www.happyaslarrygroup.com. And if you want to get in touch with us by email, if you want to contact us confidentially, you can email us on info@happyaslarrygroup.com. And we always really want to hear from you guys. Any feedback, any requests of videos that you would like to hear us talk about, anything at all. We really want to hear from you.
Yeah, listen, the feedback is always great, and it's amazing. The people that have been watching the videos, it's so lovely to hear that people resonate with the videos, they resonate with the topics, and they want to hear more. And that's amazing because it just keeps us thinking, how much more can we give? How can we give some real valuable stuff? And listen, this is real powerful stuff here. Work through this stuff, and if you want any help, hit us up. You've got the details now, and it's always below, and we're always here. So, have an amazing evening, people. Have an amazing day wherever you are in the world. Enjoy your day. Have a fantastic week, and we will see you all on Thursday.
See you soon.
See ya.